This way. Okay, good evening, everybody. As most of you know, my name is Robin Shatskin, and this is Friends Becoming Neighbors. And I'm very excited to see some new people and some returning people here today. And we're here to just talk about what's been going on. So there's a lot of new information, a lot of people starting. And I think we have some new faces here. Kristen, is this your first time here?
Yes, Kristen and Lloyd DeVera.
Hi, well, welcome. Welcome. Tell us,
Hello.
tell us a little bit about yourselves.
We're actually, so we're in the process of purchasing our lot. We'll be in closing this next week for a lot. So we're super excited. We live in Northern Virginia. We are just ready to get out of here, and we're so excited to be down there. Like, we've been down there quite a few times. I actually have I have a great aunt that lives over in Brunswick Forest, and when we saw the bluffs, like, we just fell in love with it. We have a 9-year-old daughter and we have a 29-year-old son, and eventually our son and even Lloyd's mom will move down as well. So yeah, we're super excited. We're in the middle of, obviously we'll close our lot, and we're working, to figure out what builder we want to go with.
And
but yeah,
where is your lot? What lot number, do you know?
Yeah, 68. It's on the corner of Sour Grape Way and Sweet Apple Lane. Yeah.
All right, terrific. And do you have a plan for when you're thinking about moving?
I mean, we're hoping, with God willing, with all the things I'm hearing of everyone saying of delays, but we're hoping to be down there next summer, because we're going to have my daughter go to school this next year here. So then we're hoping she would start the school year next summer in 2024 down there. Is what we're hoping. So
yeah, the school system calendar wise is different in Virginia than North Carolina.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to time it right.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the group. We wish you, only good things, and what you're going to find. Lloyd, what I can do is I can also send you, both of you, recordings, because we record this. So there's a bunch of meetings. A lot of times there's a bunch of people this evening that weren't able to come. So if you want, I can send you some of the recordings so that you can see and listen to some of the things that were going on. And you have my information. So feel free to, the important thing, join Team Reach. So if you want, give me a call if you need to know how to do that. And then you can join this group so that this way, you can ask questions back and forth instead of doing it through Messenger.
Yeah, when we were down there, the first weekend of the Parade of Homes, we met another couple that told us about Team Reach, but when we tried to do it, we needed a code. So we'll get with you.
The code, once you've downloaded it, we're NN77.
Oh, okay.
So each group has a code, and we'll talk offline about all of that. So it's all good. So for those of you who just came on, you'll notice that my background has changed. So that's thank you to Vicky Solis. I either have trenching or I have a lap pool. So one or the other, it is there. Yes, they have finally, Tim, and thank you for your pictures too. And I have the most wonderful people that are living down there. I get pictures all the time. My builder does not even know what he's up against, because I know everybody has been watching, and yes, they have begun putting in rebar. So this is I don't ask any other question. I know nothing else. I have no other information, but we will be in town the 30th through the 1st. So we'll be coming down the Tuesday to Thursday. So hopefully, we'll have something to show for it, later on. So let's hear about, we'll go around Jack and Linda Lee, you want to fill everybody else in?
Yeah, moving along. We're kind of getting into the pacing here. We now have framed home. It's plumbing roughed in, wrapped. I think roof goes on pretty quickly here. Windows are ordered and should go in. I don't know how quickly they'll go in, but they'll be pretty soon. And then I think we'll probably sit a little bit until the electrician gets all their stuff done, and we'll go to the wait for the inspections, and it'll probably get delayed a little bit. But we're on pace to close October. So hopefully that will happen. We're going to take a risk, and we're putting our current home up for sale in a couple of weeks. And if it sells fast, we'll be doing
Be in North Carolina sooner.
we'll be in an apartment in North Carolina pretty soon. And if it
Very
doesn't sell
cool.
fast, then we'll just continue doing what we're doing and travel back and forth. And that's going well. We've kind of got I don't know, barring any more supply chain stuff, we've kind of got the pacing of what's happening here. So we're sort of settled in.
All right, cool. Sean.
Yeah, everything's up, going. We have siding on the outside, have all the plumbing, electrical, all that stuff. Everything's ready to go, waiting for inspections on all that. And the next step will be insulation, sheetrock, and then the rest, I guess. I don't know really.
I know it's amazing how much we all actually know what he's talking about, right? 2 years
Right.
ago, this would have been, this is all, you know, absolutely no information about any of this stuff.
Right.
Any of this stuff.
Sure.
So we're living vicariously through those of you who have a roof. Michael.
Yes.
Yes.
So Robin gave you a little update on our property. Thankfully, they started to break ground and dig trenches and put in rebar and stuff. It's just at the beginning stages, though. There's not a lot of forming yet. So our timeline remains the same. We're still looking at sometime around next year, let's say a year from now, maybe May, June, July. Hopefully that'll be, completion. But there's so much that has to happen between now and then. And I think as we have seen other people's experiences, and now we're starting to experience, it never happens as fast as you want. It will not happen. And when the builder says, oh, we'll be there next week, they're not there next week. They're there 10 days later. So there was rain. There was something that seems to be delaying it. So I wish it can go like clockwork. I guess there are some people with builder experiences with different builders that do have some very good expedited timeframes or quick timeframes. But my confidence is not strong that we're going to be there in under a year. I think it's going to be over a year. And that's it. And then once that happens, and Robin and I will gauge it in terms of when we move down, and a lot of it is tied to our birthdays and retirements and job changes and things like that. So still a lot of variables. Mm-hmm. So, but we're happy to come down every now and then. And as Robin said, we'll be down there the 30th through the 1st. That's the first half of a trip that we're making. We're making a pilgrimage to Georgia. My mom's celebrating her 90th birthday. So it's turning into a big family reunion. So the first, I saw that, Robin. I saw those little fingers gyrating there.
I see nothing.
So, but anyway, so we're looking forward to coming down in a couple of weeks and seeing everybody. It'd be a lot of fun.
Debbie, any updates? What are you guys doing?
Oh my goodness. So I kind of heard Nicole and Rocco talking. So we've had some issues on our road on Orange Manor. We were supposed to have permits issued on May 3rd. We still do not have them. There was an issue, I guess, with our water down on our street. I had met with Steve Swain, who is the owner of Coastal Cypress. He's also, I guess, on the architectural board, I guess. So he had seen like everybody's plans and whatnot. And we had seen him, I think it was on a 2 weeks ago. Like 2 weeks ago, I think it was a Sunday. He's like, they just got the water permit that they needed for our street. And he was going down Monday morning and getting permits for the neighbor in between us and Rocco and Nicole. So they have already started breaking ground on theirs. So I'm hoping any day now we will have our permits and we can start.
Okay. All right, Rocco and Nicole.
Sorry, are you building with Steve and Coastal?
No, we're doing trust.
Trust?
But we had seen him and just had to start having a conversation. He's like, oh, where are you guys building? We're like 365. He's like, oh yeah, I know it. I'm building on 366. And I was like, oh, okay, like what's the deal? And he kind of started going into all of it with us. But, you know, we noticed that there's kind of an issue because, you know, we're the first one on the block. And they put a 10-foot drainage easement in between us and the people next door. So it kind of runs down the property and there's like this drain kind of in the middle of in between the properties, so to speak. And the water is all supposed to kind of like drain down there, but all the water is draining kind of towards where our driveway is going to be. So
We were down first week of May, early May, 1st of May, actually. And we were at the Bluffs and there was a monsoon, like it was a 2-hour, just a monsoon. And we were driving around.
Hail,
It was
golf
crazy.
balls of hail falling.
And, you know, we saw a lot of areas where the roads, because they don't have storm drains on the roads, right? It just has
Right.
those valleys. There was a lot of places throughout the development that had pools of water and this and that. But
It goes away
I didn't-
quickly.
it did,
Yeah.
but I didn't see anything on our street, on Orange Manor. There was no water issues on any of the lots. I didn't see any pooling of water or anything. So the drainage seems to be good on our street. But the good thing is, an hour after it stopped raining, everything was dry as a bone.
Yeah.
It was like Florida.
well, I hope so. I mean, we went over, but you can kind of see like where the water, like where all the dirt kind of like just sits there because the water's not draining properly. And it's right in front of our house and across,
Yeah.
you know, it kind of comes down the lot next door to you. I guess it comes down and
Well, we have a
Why
road
not?
in the back. I guess if you're facing our property from the street, the back right, there's a, when we did the wetlands reassessment, there is a river back there. It's.
yeah, there's a pipe that
it's
runs
dried
in
up.
between us and
Yeah, it was dried
366.
up. But they said when it rains that it becomes, you know,
fills up.
it fills up.
Right. Yeah, so I don't know. I was hoping we would have permits by now. I check every day to see if they're on the Brunswick County website and I don't see anything. Usually it says like it's in review, but I don't even see any of that, so.
Yeah, it took
Yeah, I
us,
see
it took
that.
us months to get a lot of those permits.
I was doing that for about a month, checking every day to see if those permits came through.
I
And
know.
I just gave up because, you know, when the builder told me he submitted them and I just don't see them, so.
Yeah, ours were submitted too, and I don't see them either.
But I mean, I'm hearing that this is happening, you know, certainly a lot.
Yeah.
So did you, yeah, cause I know you guys were just down there, you know, everything go well. I know you guys went down to do your
Interior.
selections.
Mhm. Yeah, Bren was fantastic. Jeff actually filled in for Debbie that day.
Okay,
And it went so smooth.
Yeah, it was
Good.
Bren all day long was like, this is great without Debbie here telling us no on everything and this and that. Jeff is like, I'm just putting this all in my back pocket, putting it on. I mean, 10 hours went by so fast, it felt like 3 hours. We had a very good time and everything went super smooth. And yeah, it was a good trip. It was productive.
good,
which is
I'm
what-
glad.
Yeah,
I'm
me
glad
too.
to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, terrific. Carl, how you doing tonight?
Good. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah.
can.
Okay. Well, our experience has been a little different. We started October 15th. Our first walkthrough is Friday. Our final walkthrough is on the 26th.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
So
for you.
it's gone incredibly well for us.
Who are you
And
building
who was
with?
your builder?
Trust.
Trust.
Yeah. I mean, we had a third-party inspection today and he said, I can't find anything. So
Great.
what can I say? I mean, we're very pleased. I don't know, maybe we got lucky, maybe we picked the right folks, but Mike Pryor has been a great project manager. Answer questions. If something changes, we know right away. And it's been a good experience. So needless to say, we're very excited to potentially have the keys turned over on the 26th.
That's
So,
so exciting.
yeah.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Carl, where is your house?
on Fallen Pear. You go around the big circle, and we're on the left, not about about 4 or 5 houses down. It's the gray on the left. So it's gone well. I mean, we're really excited. I mean, I think the only thing left out is really the Generac to get set. Everything else is really set in, and they've been going through their own walkthrough process, their own punch list, and they just keep fixing minor blemishes. So I'm expecting Friday to be pretty clean, overall. So.
Well, that's terrific. That's
yeah.
very exciting.
Carl.
On time, on budget, and
That's
I
fantastic.
just can't complain.
Oh my
Carl,
God.
I got a question for Carl. Carl, who
Sure.
did you use? Who did you use for your generator?
What's that?
What installer or company did you use for your generator?
Trust is doing that. We built that into our contract.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure they're gonna, I don't know who they outsourced it to, but they did all the preliminary work, all the electricals. It's all geared up. So they basically set it, put the gas on, wire to the switch, and we should be ready to go.
Very cool. That's
Great.
terrific. Well, we'll have a party. Next party will be at your house. So
One thing I
Randy,
did want to say,
Yeah.
we had our house inspector was Safe at Home, a guy named Bob. And if you go to his website, Safe at Home, he can do a lot of things for you. He can do inspections. He can take pictures of your property for you. Very knowledgeable. I'd really recommend it. I was very pleased at the things he can offer, and he knows a lot of us are building there. So you may want to check Safe at Home. I told him I'd make a pitch because he did such a good job for us this morning. So
now, Carl, do me a favor. If you could just shoot me his contact information, I'll give him a call. Maybe he'll come and speak,
okay.
like other people have done as well. So
Yeah.
just make the introduction, and I'll be happy
Okay.
to
Be
have a
glad to.
conversation with him. Randy and Nadine.
Hello, Robin.
Hello, guys.
Our lot today looks a lot like your lot.
Yay!
Things have changed dramatically in the past couple of months. We finalized our floor plan, signed off and everything early April, and it was submitted for architectural review. They approved it in like 2 weeks. We had permits, took like a month. Because our builder we're on the water, so there's a CAMA permit. It's a Coastal Area Management Act. There's a separate permit needed for that. But our builder knew that, and they submitted that in advance of all those things, because there's some lead time on it. Building with Haygood Homes, and so far we're really thrilled with them. They've been very communicative. They actually use an app that I have on my phone, or you can go onto the website. Our construction manager communicates with us three times a week with an update on what's happening, pictures. I have a schedule of, I just counted, it's 105 line items on the schedule from start to finish in a Gantt chart. So it has no slack in that schedule. We know it's going to change, but at least we know why it changes and what delays ripple into the end product. So
That's great. That's really
it's
good.
moving. There's a lot of active waiting, but now we're now we
Yeah, but at least you're informed,
yes.
You have transparency,
Yeah.
which is key.
Yeah, that's
Once you know
really,
what's going on.
we're all about communication, and said we want to know what's going on. Good news, bad news, doesn't matter. Just keep us informed in the dark. And being, a lot of you are farther away from your build than we are, but we've built before, and we have control issues. And being 6+ hours away, it's very hard. So having that level of communication is really reassuring for us.
Yeah.
That's terrific. It's very exciting. Very, very exciting.
Yeah.
So that's Seekins.
Yeah. Hey, how are you? Yeah.
How are you? It's good to see you.
Yeah, you too. We just got started about a month ago. We got our first notification on the Haygood app, and they cleared the lot, had all the permits, and we have a foundation.
Wow.
And they're gonna start the plumbing and electric that goes under the slab, and then should have the slab by, they're thinking, the end of the month. And yeah, Hagen's been great. They send us 3 times a week, as he said. You get photos and updates, and he'll let you know if there's a delay. And so far, so good. Yeah, fingers crossed. I know there'll be delays, but you know, it's so far it's been good. The fun part is they send you pictures, and I can see what's going on the lots next door, because they're building. We're on 407, and they're building next door on 408 and 406. So we kind of watch and see how our neighbors are shaping up there too. It's kind of nice.
So you're actually like right behind, right, Michael? Aren't they? You're near the
Yeah,
Are
you
you
guys-
near the Shanahans? Like in that slide over there? They're what,
I think
before
that-
11?
You guys are on Fallen Pear?
We're on.
Oh, Flint Rock. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're on Flint Rock, yeah.
Okay.
So you're literally like, because we're 249, but we're the little walking path that goes into the
Oh, yeah.
cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
We're literally right there. That we're the side of our house actually backs the Southern Pines model.
Oh, okay.
So we're over there. So you're like a walking distance away. So what is your thought process about when you're thinking about moving in, when you're planning to move in?
Well, we're realistic in knowing that it's probably not going to be done when they said. So we're kind of waiting to see. We're due to be done, they said, in mid to end of December. So that's not really a good time to move. So we'll probably wait till the beginning of the year.
Okay.
I mean, if by some miracle it's done early, maybe we'll move in before the holidays, but we're not counting on it.
Yeah, and we all seem to be pretty realistic about that stuff.
Yeah, we're in a good spot. We have a condo here in Ohio, and we're just going to rent it whenever we're done. So we don't have to worry about selling anything, or no interim housing or anything. So we're lucky there.
All right, cool. Awesome. Tim Burns, how are you this evening?
Pretty good, pretty good. Hope everyone's doing well. So yeah, we're moving along. We've not a lot of progress in the past week or two, but now I'll preface it by saying, first of all, I'm super happy with the product that our builder has. I think we're gonna have a phenomenal house. It's all custom, which is great. But I will say that, as Michael said earlier, there's a lot to be done before we get to the end point. There's also a lot that's not going to get done before we get to the end point, right? So I think I was over there, 20 times in the past 10 days, and there's just been nobody there. So we got rough plumbing in, we have most of our windows in, the house is wrapped. But we're sort of in that standstill period, which is sort of synonymous with our builder, right? You can drive by in a house for a month and not see anybody. But we did meet today with one of the supervisors, and he's assured us of the next steps, and all we want to see is a little bit of progress. I don't care if they come by and clip a blade of grass.
Who are you building with again?
I'll give them credit for that. But talking to your builder 3 times a week, well, that mean like every day was Groundhog Day for me.
Tim, who are you building with?
Southern Pines.
Southern Pines, sorry.
Yep. Yeah, we're super happy with. I mean, the house is going to be amazing, and it's just you just have to be able to wait an extra 3 months. That you just have to build that into your mindset. We are right now coming up on 10 months, and from when we signed, and we're hoping to be in by November. So we're like, it will be 15 or 16 months. But so in comparison, the house behind us is a Haygood home. I think they started building it yesterday. It's almost finished. So we're sort of making sure that our builder's aware of that.
Right.
And I'll be having Memorial Day at my neighbor's house.
There is such a thing as too fast.
No, I get it. I know. We're just
not for Tim. Not for Tim.
But the good news is that the oil companies are in good health, because I drive my ridiculous truck over there twice a day, and do useless laps looking at the same old scenery, so.
But no, but we're glad that we did it. So I'm glad that your things are progressing. Mike the Crawfords, how are you this evening, guys?
We're good.
We're well, we're well.
So what's
We've
going
got-
on with
we-
you?
We are got a closing date of June 30th.
Awesome.
Wow,
yeah.
congratulations.
Yeah, we're right on time. The construction loan was 1 year and that's where
Wow,
we're
that's
coming in
great.
on. So we've been getting weekly reports from our builder and with photos and updates, and the flooring's in, the appliances are in, the lights are in. So the screen porches all got the screen and the doors on it. So just little things, I think, from here on out. So
And who are you building with again?
pardon me?
Who was your builder?
Bill Clark.
Bill Clark. Okay,
Yep.
awesome.
So yeah, so we're excited. First walkthrough is the
23rd.
of June. So we're gonna be, end of June, we'll be there.
Well, we're moving in, starting July 2nd.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll be down there just for the best time of the year.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
For the heat of the year.
exactly.
Hottest time of the
Yeah.
year. That's
It's okay.
us.
Yep.
That's
So yeah, we're
okay.
excited. Yep.
Which is great. Suzanne, how are you this evening? It's good to see you.
Good, how are you?
And Gary's there too. Hey guys, what's going on?
Nothing much. Haven't heard back anything. They rejected our plans and we had to make some changes. Some changes they want us to make. Jeff has to fight for us, but that was a week and a half ago and haven't heard anything yet. So.
Yep. Seems to be
We know that they meet every 2 weeks.
They came back with 5 different things that I told you that they wanted changed. And one of them is really important to us, the reason why we picked the house. And he said he has to fight them for it. So we haven't heard anything back yet.
So shouldn't the builders, I mean, these are all preferred builders, right? Shouldn't the builders know the rules and requirements of the DRC and kind of guide us?
The requirement that
process?
the one thing that they're asking us to change, Robin has on her house. Which
So
makes no
it's
sense.
inconsistency, yeah, that's ridiculous.
They won't let us have the stone that we want in the front of the house, not the actual stone, the height. They only will let us have it foundation height.
Your house is facing a different direction?
My house, my
Like, where you
house.
would see that stone, will you see it from the road or is it facing a different?
No, you won't. You wouldn't see it from the road, no.
Right.
No, because the AR model homes, the standard AR homes, I know the brick you're talking about, or the stone you're talking about, I know the height. I mean.
That's the reason why we
right
picked.
up front, that there's a problem with the standard AR standard, it's.
Well, we know that there's a bit of an inconsistency to have two of the builders.
Some houses have
the
like
builders.
dark stone.
But you have 2 of the builders, are the only 2 the 2 custom builders are on the committee judging everybody else's. There seems to be a bit of a conflict of interest there to start with.
Yeah, there needs to be standard rules.
Yeah.
But but I'm hearing from other people as well that plans are being sent back. Not sure why. Some of the things that I'm hearing is that some things got through, that a lot of people have been complaining of certain colors, certain heights of things. So they've been really, kind of cracking down. But not for the same consistent reasons. So,
driving through the development, you can see some houses have stone.
Oh,
like
yeah.
some is dark
Yeah.
permanent stone.
Full to the roof.
Yeah, and then other ones, they're saying they're shooting it down.
They changed
So-
some recently, because when we were down there in February, we wanted stone the whole way around the house. And Ted from Southern Pine said it wasn't his decision, it was other members of the committee that said you can no longer do that. And he said, well, there's other houses in the community that have it, and they were like in shock. So it's not all just the 2 main builder, Southern Pines and Coastal, that make these decisions. It's coming from other people.
And what they should do really is, it's fine to make changes like that as the community grows, and they're going to do that. But they need to do it based on when the property was bought. It's property bought after this point. This is the new rules. And you know that when you buy the property. It can't be when you submit your plans. It has to be based on when the property was bought from the Bluffs. And it has to be the rules that were in place at that time. And that's not being followed.
Well, there's also, I think there's also, if you buy it from the Bluffs or if you buy it privately, there's some kind of wonky things in there. I can, if you guys would like, I can bring it to Bragg and see what, if I can get some information about what's going on. But I do know that the rules seem to be changing based upon where your property is. Why I don't ever remember reading anything, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, that there were ever any rules about the back of the house. Tim, do you remember anything about rules about the back?
No, just the shed. I've only heard about the shed and the fences.
The shed and the fences, but even that was based on when you bought your property.
Yeah.
Right, but
exactly.
Which is right. I mean, I get that rules have to change as the community grows. It just needs to be grandfathered in based on when your property was purchased.
Yeah, the covenants have changed, and that has been tied to when you bought the property. The design rules have not been formalized or encoded anywhere for anybody to read. They seem to be embodied in that committee, and that's it.
I was surprised that every builder isn't on that committee. That committee should really be comprised of a representative from every approved builder.
You're right.
I was really shocked that it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly put that out there and see whether we can get some information. I don't know, but I can certainly bring it to the group and find out, because I don't ever remember. And Suzanne, you and I spoke about this, that there's nothing about the back, about how many windows you have, or anything on the back of your house, as long as it wasn't forward facing. Kevin, do you remember anything that was about the back of the house besides the shed? Kevin, you
I don't know.
No, I don't think we had anything like that. I know they've changed a couple things on our plan, or I'm sorry, they're not doing them now on other homes. For example, like the oyster shell tabby on the foundation, our builder, I don't think, well, actually not the builder, I think the community's not allowing that anymore. They're doing brick now or stone. But also on the stone issue, it might be if your neighbor's got stone as well, they don't want to put the same kind of stone together.
We
Now,
don't
that may
have
not be
any-
the case.
Makes
We
sense.
don't have anybody on either side of us,
Okay, yeah.
or even across the street from us.
Yeah.
And Suzanne, they flagged you as something in the back of your house?
Yes, they, the brick steps going down off the patio, they said we have to have an extra step.
Yeah, but I think that was just I really think that was just a mistake in the drawing, because you had the two steps.
We had two steps. They said that there had to be a third step.
And that's usually code driven.
Yeah.
Number of steps, and then needing a railing or not. That's usually
I mean,
part of code.
that doesn't bother me. The other thing bothered me was the two windows, the two small windows. No, the two small windows, they said we can't have them that small. And those windows are in in the closet, and I wanted that room. They want the same size windows on both sides.
The front of the back. Is that the front of the back?
The front of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we have small windows on the side
Mm-hmm.
in our bathroom.
Then they wanted an extra window on one side, and then on the other side, they wanted either a window in the top, a window or a vent. Because they said it was too much of an open space on the side of the house.
So, yeah,
They-
we need
they
to
came
take a
back
look
with
at what's
five-
going on.
Yeah,
Five
there really
different
should be,
things.
that committee should really have a representative from every builder on it.
And
Yeah,
then the
that-
other thing was Jeff made a mistake, and we had taken the 3 dormers off. And he submitted one plan with and one without. And they said we have to have them, and we didn't want them.
It's awfully nitpicky. They should be more concerned about landscaping the undeveloped areas of the bluffs. I mean, Go through Brunswick Forest or Compass Point. It's like showcase awesome. And then the bluffs just looks ratty because they left the open lots or the common spaces, like the islands in the middle of like a cul-de-sac or wherever, just run to hell around the ponds. It's horrifying. But that's another topic.
Well, but I think that they are working on some of those.
How do I really feel about that?
They are working. I mean, there's so much going on over there that but we can certainly get an update on all of that. But Suzanne, keep us posted on what's going on. So
Yeah,
Will do.
Pam, how are you tonight?
Good.
So what's going on with you guys? You're on mute.
We are 3 weeks ago, we signed our contract finally with Truss. Hopefully we have as good experience that Carl's had. But so far we've heard a lot of good things, which is good. I don't think he submitted. We're going down June 8th and 9th to pick out all of our outside colors and exterior stuff. So we got a whole packet that we're going through and picking our colors out. Then we're in a process of our construction loan. That's been approved, but of course, they always ask for a couple extra things here and there. So that should be no. And then we're hoping to, we're going back down, I guess, July 15th for my grandson. He's playing baseball in Myrtle Beach, and we're making a week out of it. And we're going to go do our interior selections. And they said they should start end of July, beginning of August, construction.
Clearing a
lot and foundation and all that. I don't know where the process of listening to the for the plans, how long that takes or when he submits those. I got to ask Ray when they're going to submit the plans. I don't know if he does it after we pick our colors and our exterior. I'm assuming that's when they do it. And we're hoping to be moved in May or June of next year.
All right, terrific. Awesome. Congratulations. That's great. Marcia, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
No, it's good to see you back again. So what's been going on with you?
We were down the first week of May, stayed for a week, got some selections made. Just had our inspection today for the roof, the windows, the plumbing, and then the siding's up. So I think next for us will be probably the electrical.
Very exciting. And who are you building with again?
Southern Pines.
The Southern Pines. And do you have an idea of when you think you might be thinking about moving in?
Well, it's supposed to be done September, October. We won't move in permanently probably for a year or two. We'll go back and forth for a couple of years.
Okay, terrific. Terrific. So we'll be looking forward to seeing everything with roofs and siding instead of all these big wide open houses. And last but not least, Lori, how are you?
Hey, good evening, everybody.
It's good
We're
to
doing
see
well.
you guys.
Yep. Good to see all of you as well. We had a little bit of progress this past week or two. We got to actually see some wood go up.
Yay!
So studs and what do they call those? Trusses? Studs and trusses. Yep. So we're happy to see a little bit of progress there. We're building with Kent. Still hoping for end of the year. We'll see what happens. No complaints.
Was that your original plan?
Yes.
Terrific. And where are you living now?
We're in apartments about 20 minutes away from there.
Oh, okay.
In Leyland, yeah.
Very cool. No, it sounds like everybody has a lot of things going on. The Fishers are in their house and, everybody's got a lot of good stuff going on. But it's good to hear, that there's progress somewhere. So hopefully it's all good. The clubhouse has been cleared. For those of you who've been down there, that the clubhouse is starting again. I just got communication today between Doug and the dog park committee. So Doug is committed to the dog park. So for those of you who have the dogs, he wasn't anticipating the dream that we had, for, you know, for everything, but he is cautiously optimistic that we will be able to come to some kind of a solution about stuff. He wasn't anticipating the two separate, you know, the separations for the small and large dogs. He wasn't considering shade and, you know, water and all that kind of stuff. So that may be left to us sometime later on, but he is definitely committed to creating that park for those people. Also, I think if you've been following along, you know that they approved having, for on the dog theme, that they've approved having dogs allowed on the first floor of the beach house. So that you know, and I think that was a great compromise. Evidently, it caused a huge amount of brouhaha.
Yeah.
So, you know, don't believe everything you read on Facebook. That's all I can tell you is, you know, but we are going to behave like children. And I'm just going to tell you, don't believe everything that you're reading on Facebook, because not everything on Facebook is actually true. So if you have a question about something, you know, go to the people who are in the middle of it. You know, I get weekly reports back from Bragg with the actual communications that's going on back and forth from the, you know, from Doug. So this dog park thing today, it was actually a letter signed by Doug. So he's actively involved, you know, in all of these kinds of things. And it'll be interesting to see that. Does anybody who's been down there, anybody have any updates on the fobs for the beach house? Anybody that's living in Leland that's been down to the beach house?
I was down
Sean,
there,
Tim?
yeah, I was down there yesterday and over the weekend. There are no fobs. We just use the keypad.
Okay,
Right.
because I know, did they, and I'm assuming they fixed the front gate eventually.
The
I didn't
front
know
gate.
anything was wrong with it.
The short with the front, no, not the kid that, but the short at the bluffs.
Oh, that, yeah, that's fixed.
That was fixed already? Okay.
Hey,
All right, so-
Robin,
Yes.
I had a question. How are the gardens going?
The community garden?
Yes.
So, okay, so the last I heard is that they
No.
wanted to do, the biggest problem with the community garden is water, right? That's always going to be a big thing. So, and then I heard also there was originally, you guys wanted it over by the clubhouse or somewhere in a more communal area. And I think that got nixed from what I heard. So then I heard that there was a communication and discussion about putting it over. It's in the same general vicinity that we wanted to do the dog park.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's tons of space over there that's not going to ever be used for anything specific. Again, same issues as the dog park. We need water, we need shit, you know, different types of things. So I think, you know, it is in discussion. I think what happened, it got clogged up because too many people were disagreeing about things, like they wanted to do something and then it kind of not fell by the wayside. But if you guys want to bring it back again, in the discussion, I can certainly put in a question and find out who's working. Was Cynthia working on that?
I'm not sure who is working on it and who actually makes the decisions. Like, who made the decision about the beach house and who's making the decision? That's the first I had heard that anyone was unhappy that it wasn't going to be over there in that unused space, that they wanted it closer to the clubhouse.
haven't heard that
I
before.
prefer it to be over in the unused space because these aren't always pretty. You know, they're working gardens. That's what they're intended to be. So
Yep.
they, you know, I don't want to have to be judged for how messy my vegetable garden looks.
HOA
So
approval on your layout.
Yeah, so from what I'm understanding, and this is like with anything, with any what I'm called volunteer type of organization, there's a finite number of people at the Bluffs right now. And those of you who are down there, Sean, you know, and Tim, you guys know there's a core group of maybe 6 to 8 people that seem to be very involved in, you know, all of these committees and everything else. it is always open to people. If you want to volunteer or you want to be part of the committee, then just put it out there. If you would like to be more involved, I will put it out there to Bragg and let them know that you're interested. We're not there, right? So it's very hard for those of us who aren't there to always be involved. But you should have a voice. And if it's something that anybody wants to have a voice, you can.
But at some point, there have to be decisions need to be made.
Well,
And when
ultimately, the decision right now falls on Doug.
Okay.
Only because as the developer, number one, he's agreed, we're trying to get him to put the things in before we take things over. Right? That's all part of this. So, he's willing to put in, he's willing to listen. I haven't heard anything about the garden in a really long time.
Either way, yeah.
Yeah,
that
that was
was one
a
of
little
those things.
concerning because that was one of the things that was talked about quite a bit when we were looking a year ago. And then we haven't heard anything for like 8 months. So, we're moving in July. Yeah, you can put my name on the list for the gardens. Because I'd like to see that come in at some point.
Yeah, I think what happens is that people, I think what I've seen, there are certain things that the majority of people who are very active are very involved in, and those things seem to be the things that get handled first, right?
Sure.
And I don't think that it has anything else to do with just people wanting to take, Debbie, are you seeing that also? I mean, you guys are around. I think that a lot of it really is, if you want to be involved in something, you can be.
Sidetracked.
So I will definitely put that out there. I'll let them know that you'd like to, because you'll be down in July. So a lot of the big problem is actually water, because over by the RV place, there is no water. So we'd have to bring in water, and there is no covering or shade. So that's part of that was part of the problem about where the land could be. And then somebody's actually going to have to tend to that, because do we fence it in? People were concerned about animals, like deer and whatever else getting over into the garden area. So if it needs fencing, that becomes another expense that gets approved by Doug.
There are other ways. I mean, we don't have to go into this here, but
Right.
we've worked with community gardens up in Maine, and there are ways to do that where the individual takes responsibility for their own little area. And I'm not talking about the water part, but the fencing in and all of that. And sometimes you can go into just way too much detail and then there's no progress. So I'd be happy to work on that once we get moved in.
Yeah, and you could start now. So you know what, let's have an offline conversation and I'll get you, attached to the right people. And, and that's really the way it happens. And a lot of the things that have happened are happening because somebody had an idea and decided that they wanted to take it on. He's actually pretty responsive. What Bragg has been able to do is to get the information to the people who need to get the information, rather than just putting all this stuff out there and then nothing ever happening. So I think what happened with the garden originally is that was before Bragg was in place. And I don't necessarily know that the information went to the place that it needed to go in an organized way. So you and I'll have a conversation. Give me a call this week. We'll put down something on paper and I'll present it to the committee, and then let the people who are there, get it to the right people.
Sounds good.
How often do they meet, Robin? How often does Bragg meet?
We're talking, we're email. We don't meet. We're just, we're project driven. We're not meeting as a group. We'll have a group email going on, but there's always communication, and we kind of like are delegating off to who's doing what and where. So, it's really a conduit. Bragg was never meant to be anything else but a conduit so that we get stuff done faster. That's really what it is. There's no decision making going on. There's nothing secret that's going on. This is just really trying to get so that Doug doesn't get 500 people asking him a question and then he answers nobody.
No, it seems like he's been doing a good job. So thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, these are things that, I'm just finding that if you're interested in something, now I ended up on the dog park committee and I don't have a dog. But I'll be the one that'll be hanging out at the dog park playing with everybody else's dogs. So
There you go.
it behooved me to have shade. It behooved me to have, all that kind of stuff. So, definitely, I'm just trying to think what else is going on. I'm hearing, I've been hearing that there's a lot of construction going on. I haven't been hearing as many complaints about noise and things like that. I think that that's been under control. I know that there's been, Tim, have you seen any kind of a change in the amount of construction trucks? I get conflicting reports about whether they're actually sending them through the side gate or not.
Yeah, there seems to be less and less going in the front gate. I don't know what's going on the side gate. I guess that's where they're actually going. But I see less and less like cement trucks and trucks delivering lumber and trusses and stuff coming up that main road.
Which is great. And I think part of that is also, if you've been watching what's been going on, but there's been a concern about the bridges, about the wooden bridges. And I know nothing about that, but Michael and I have spoken about, I know nothing about construction, but I'm thinking all those big heavy trucks going over that first wooden, that magical wooden bridge, the one that we all drove over and said, oh my God, this is where we want to live. And people have been right. And you're laughing. Go ahead, Kevin, laugh. Because we all said the same thing. We went over.
You are exactly correct.
Right. And Michael will tell you, I have a video. I remember the very first time, right, Michael? We drove over that first bridge and it never gets old. Yeah. Right? That feeling that as you're going over, and Nadine, you're laughing too. But it's that feeling. So there's a lot of activity going on. I haven't been hearing as much negativity, about noise, about anything. I don't know whether people just got bored of writing it or whether if there has really been a change. Has anybody down there seen anything or heard anything different?
As far as what, Robin?
I'm sure, just let's see there, for a while there, we were hearing about a lot of problems with, a lot of noise and people, I with any of the construction, there's been a tremendous, I heard through the grapevine, and I know nothing, it's not my builder, but I heard that Ted hired a phenomenal new project manager.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm hearing really great things from people who have been frustrated before. And that he seems to be phenomenal and really getting stuff done.
And what's better, he's from Long Island.
Well, there you go. Where on Long Island is he from?
He's from St. James.
Oh, okay.
Like Stony Brook.
So that I'm hoping that is going to, help a lot of the management that's going on there. Couple of things, a number of people, for those of you who are on the meeting for last month's meeting, a number of people have, and thank you, Tim, have been working with Chip. John Walter sent me a really fabulous email that he had.
Robin,
tremendous.
Everybody knows who Chip is.
No, I'm going to say, so from Gotcha Covered, he is he does window treatments and window coverings. And if you need the information, his information was in the last meeting, but I am happy to share it with everybody again. But people seem to be having a really great experience. I also have a contact that maybe next month, she's at Lowe's and she does Generac generators and also fencing. And she knows the Bluffs very well. So she wants to talk about what Lowe's is able to do and the benefits of working with a fence company with Lowe's. And she can also offer interest-free financing, which of course, always a wonderful thing.
Heck yeah.
So we're going to try, I'm going to try to bring, but if anybody has a vendor, as we've spoken about this before, If you have a vendor that you've been working with, like Kevin was speaking about, that you would like to share with everybody, just, give me a holler and we'll, try to bring them on here. I did speak with, Dan from, was it Generator Warehouse, Michael?
No, what's the big Generac dealer? What's his name?
Yeah, Dan.
Dan
Superstore.
Miller,
Superstore.
so the Generator Superstore. Okay, so I did speak with him. He's putting together a sheet for all of us that I'll send out in an email, that his prices have come down $1,000 since he met with us, and also that he will also match a price. So he will match pricing, and he's happy to to talk to anybody. So I just wanted to share that, because I did say to him, what was going on, and asking him why people were coming in $2,000 cheaper, because I did call him after the meeting and I said, listen, I'm hearing that people can get the same thing. So he just said to everybody to call. And again, I have no connection with anybody. So I said, how can somebody come in $2,000 cheaper? So he said, as I said, he can match a price, but he said things like maybe they're not to check to see if they're doing copper piping, because they use copper. What do they do? So again, I know nothing about generators, but he was just saying, just make sure that you get apples to apples. So, and then he did caution me that there's an issue that sometimes if you have somebody who's not authorized to install a Generac, that Generac will give you a hard time on their warranty. So again, and you're shaking your head, like, I don't know this to be true. All I'm knowing is that this is what he told me, and he just cautioned everybody just to make sure, because you don't want to mess with, with those warranties, especially because the first thing I said to Michael after I need a place for my stuff was, a second thing has to be a generator, because I don't like to be non-refrigerated. So that's definitely an important thing. Anybody else finding anything else with generators and having conversations? For those of you who had the generator that had the generator included in your build, like Carl, is there any conversation about warranty or about service plans or anything?
That hasn't been discussed yet. I think we get that through the first walkthrough with the manager, and he talks about all those warranties and related items. If I hear anything new, I'll be glad to share that once I'm able to have that conversation.
Yeah, please do. So, yeah, Alice had to jump. Yeah, she just got a brand new job, and it's putting her move and everything else off a little bit too, but she'll be here. So anybody have any questions, anything that they want to bring up, anything weighing on your mind?
Robin, you mentioned you started to say that John Walter had a comment about Gotcha Covered.
Yeah, he had a phenomenal, he came in, and a lot of people have been using him. He came up with some really creative solutions for some of the problems that, problem areas in his home, that he was very excited, and his prices were unbelievable, and certainly nothing that you were going to get on Long Island. So that was his comment about that. But everybody that I've been speaking to that has had him come in. So he's a family-owned business. For those who missed the meeting or didn't watch the meeting last week, they're a family-owned shade covering business. And Tim sent him over. It's the only people coming into your home are his kids. So we really love the idea of knowing, and his prices are incredibly competitive. So if you are looking to talk to somebody about your window treatments, I'm happy to share that information as well.
Rob, I want to break one other thing up, since we're getting close to moving in. Y'all probably should start, well, I don't know how close you are, but be aware that in North Carolina, if you're east of 95, you have to have wind and hail insurance, and that can be quite expensive. So you may want to have look around. I mean, let's say I'm with USAA on my homeowners insurance, which is very good because it's a new home, But wind and hail, they don't underwrite it, so they work with an agency that goes through the North Carolina something pool insurance for wind and hail. So some companies underwrite it directly for your property insurance, others use the pool. So, but the pool has worked well, sending photographs, and it's more expensive than the entire rest of the homeowners insurance.
I've been
Yep.
hearing that a lot. That seems to be a comment that a number of people who just moved in. I know Vicky Solis said the same thing. She says, "Wait until you see that." You know that is
Hey,
it
Carl,
based? Go ahead, Michael.
Carl, can you share with us what is that extra little add-on for the wind and hail?
Well, wind and hail alone, and that includes, it's two parts. One is non-named storms, and the other one are named storms. And they have various deductibles. I chose the highest deductible across the board, and it's like $1,132 a year for wind and hail alone. But if you choose the low deductibles, you can more than double the price. And I know we're pretty lucky because we're 30 miles off the coast. I mean, from the coast. If you're on a barrier island, you're talking $4 grand or more for wind and hail.
Wow.
So,
okay.
FYI.
So has anybody else
We're gonna start saving up.
Yeah, and has anybody else spoken to any insurance companies or have any leads on insurance companies? Because that may be something that we may want to reach out to some of the neighbors who are living there, and see if anybody has somebody that they know.
We've been using the Honeycut group out of Wilmington. It's HUNEY cut, Honeycut. They sold us our liability and our builder's insurance.
Now, do they have wind and hail or?
I think so, yeah. He told me that we'd get ready to, when we convert to a homeowner's policy, that they would show us policies for that as well. I didn't inquire about the cost. I mean, I think our liability insurance like $300 or $400, and I think the builder's insurance was like $1,500 for the year.
So for the group, there's been a bunch of postings on the various Facebook groups for the Bluffs over the last year, and people share this information all the time. I haven't been writing it down and making notes or anything, but I know that I've seen on several occasions, like a little back and forth between various people talking about who do you have for homeowners insurance, who do you use for your gardening work. So this is not like anything new that is unknown. I think it's just that there's not a really good information gathering and sharing system that we have in place. It's just like it's almost like conversational on Facebook. So unless you make notes of it, it goes away.
Michael, for a number of months, I've been collecting that information. I have my own spreadsheet that I've been capturing that. I've been a little negligent the last month and a half. But I'd be happy to scour some of those pages and add it into the rest of my sheet, and I'll share it to everybody if you want it. It's not sophisticated, but it's a list of a ton of different categories that have been recommended. Cannot attest to the quality of any of the vendors, just following conversations and writing names down.
Okay.
Which would be terrific, absolutely, and we can
I'll
add
ship it over to you, Rob, and I'll find some spare time, maybe next couple of days, and just kind of complete it and send it over to you. You can share it
Awesome.
out.
That would be terrific. Thank you. And then I'll certainly share that. Yeah, and then maybe what we do is we make it a Google Doc. We can put it in there, and then people can continue to add.
Now, yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, then people can continue to add stuff to it.
Yeah, no, share a file, be beautiful.
Yeah, which would be awesome. Tim said Tim had to go.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I think that there's a lot of information, and there's a lot of things going on, and there's a lot of people moving. There's a lot of moving parts right now going on at the Bluffs, and I think also as far as the look of certain things that aren't being taken care of, I have a feeling like with everything else, it's priorities, right? The things that the clubhouse was a major priority. I know it took them forever and ever and ever to get that stuff done. But if you have questions about anything and you want to get answers like the garden, shoot them over to me and I'm happy to put them before Bragg. It's not like people are meeting, as I said, they're not meeting. We're just kind of taking the information in and then disseminating it to the places that it needs to be. And I'm sure that and all of you all know about all the different groups and everything else that are there. So if there's something that you want to start or something that you want to see, it's pretty simple to do, to do that. There's not even enough time to do all the really cool things. Has anybody that's down there been going to any of the groups or any, Debbie, have you been able, you haven't done anything? No.
No, I mean, we've gone to a couple of like the social events that they kind of put on, but we just don't really have the time to always go. I mean, we're working and kids and whatnot, so.
Yeah, it's not easy. Well, the pool.
But the pool is open, so I'm hoping it'll be nice and we can utilize the pool.
Yep. How has the weather been?
Oh, it's been gorgeous here.
Perfect. Yeah, really nice.
Well, it was lovely. It's been lovely here too. In New York, it's been lovely here too. So I can't really complain all that much. But I know you guys had a whole bunch of rain and stuff like that. So it's, look, we're doing, we all have challenges. We all have a lot of good things going on. We all have a lot of challenging things going on. So just keep on staying positive. As I said, Michael and I will be down. If anybody needs pictures of anything, let us know. I'll be happy to send pictures for everybody else for a change. And just so that Nicole and Suzanne know, I've been getting pictures and information every day. And whenever anything is going on, Craig has been sending me photos of things going on.
Oh, that's good.
So there is a process. It only started when things were happening. So, but there is a process, and the communication is very open. So,
good to know.
Just to let you know that it is there. I mean, it is there now, but everybody has a different experience. So anybody else have anything that they want to bring up or share, or things that they need that we can help you with?
Robin, I have one quick question. This Lloyd and Kristen, what percentage of homeowners are adding the option of a generator as part of their build? Is it a good amount, or we're still early in the process? We're closing in our lot, but this is definitely something we need to think about as well.
Well, who wants to answer that? Jack, did you want to answer that? Or so somebody?
That's really a personal choice, really. I mean, whether you do it or not, but I'd say if I had to eyeball it, I'd say 40-50%. You see a lot of them sitting on the side of the houses these days.
At least 50%, I'd say.
Yeah.
And are those the 50% of the homes that are finished, the people living in them, or only 50% of the homes that you see are going up?
Finished, because they don't normally set those until
the
last week or very late after your landscaping goes in.
Yeah, at a minute, but depending on the builder you go with, I'd say at a minimum you'd want to talk to them about putting in the transfer switch and doing the rough in for it, even if you're ready to commit to putting that into the contract. This, that's another fairly large line item that's going to be on your mortgage for a long time. And we opted to just have the rough in and the pad and gas line, all that stuff is run, so all the infrastructure is there. And then we'll decide at some point after we move in to finish the job.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, no, we're doing the same thing. For me, coming from New York and knowing about the storms and the electrical, whatever is, after living through Hurricane Sandy, which again, people have been through, much worse. The biggest issue was not having, electric. I need air conditioning. For air conditioning, at least I need to be, we had talked about that. So, but yet there are people who say they don't have one, and they don't, and I know people down in Southport Down by the beach, none of them have it. Our builder doesn't have a generator, and he lives in Southport down by the ocean.
I think
So,
it depends. Well, you know what? We hear different stories as we talk to people. Some will tell you that, you know, the power goes out all the time. And other people will say, I don't have any problems. I've never, oh, went out once or twice. So I think we're hearing different stories. But it seems to me that the power is not as reliable as what we have here on Long Island. Our power is always on. The only time it ever really goes out is maybe once a year, the lights flicker, maybe it goes out for an hour or something. If there's a bad storm. So we're spoiled, Robin. But we hear different stories in the Bluffs. And then if the power does go out, you know, there's some critical things besides your air conditioning that use power, like your grinder, right? Your
grinder pumps. Yep.
Well, and also I think a lot of the power is transmitted above line on wires on poles, right? Whereas some places it's underground. So I do think, I believe, if I recall, that they've got more susceptibility to tree limbs and things like that and localized wind, you know, outages, I think. But, you know, it's not just for hurricanes and, you know, big storm stuff.
Yeah, I think it bears a little further study if you really want to know. But I know how Robin feels, and Robin is going to have her generator, guaranteed.
The generator is almost like an insurance policy.
It is.
I hate buying insurance, but you know, you hope you never need it and don't want to. But boy, if you need it, it's great when you got it. I mean, that's what it boils down to. And our philosophy was, if we're going to spend, you know, 12 grand on a 24 kilowatt generator, I'm gonna put it, if I'm doing it over the price of my mortgage, that lowers that cost down tremendously for the way I'm looking at it. So, yeah, it's personal choice. But you know, August and July, August and September, you lose AC. It could be kind of sticky down this way, but
Hey, Carl, don't worry. Everybody's just going to move in with you for a day or so.
yeah,
well,
absolutely.
I imagine there'll be a lot of extension cords out of windows and things.
Yeah.
So,
No,
Sorry,
absolutely.
guys, I have to go. I'll see you.
All right. Yeah. So it's all good. Anybody else have anything before we let you guys go?
I was going to say, Robin, if you all need anything, let me know, since I live here. So if anybody needs anything at all, I can help out with. Let me know.
No, absolutely. Hopefully Michael and I get a chance to give you a hug when we're in town.
You better.
Yeah, you know it. It's all good.
And somebody has to tell
Debbie, I want puppies. I want dogs.
somebody has to tell Jack to turn off his computer, his browser.
Yeah. Well, we'll get out soon. But if anybody needs pictures of anything, you know, again, we'll be in town. And and you know, again, it's great to see everybody and for information. Welcome to our new people, and keep the information flowing, and good luck with everybody's builds and moves. And we look forward to being down there soon and getting a chance to see everybody.
Sounds
great.
All right. Have a great night, everybody.
Have a good night.
Good night, guys.